Good blessed Monday night, June the 2nd, 2025, the time being 10:30 p.m. I greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. It doesn't matter whether you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter whether you're the proclaimed toughest to the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. It doesn't matter whether you like me or anything that I say or do. That's your prerogative. Always remember, in the United States, at least right now, I can't say what'll be happening tomorrow or later on tonight, but right now you have a constitutional right, a First Amendment to the United States Constitution, which gives you the freedom of press, freedom of speech, freedom to protest, freedom to associate, and freedom to gather. Long as you do all of this in a peaceful manner. If you're on probation or parole, you probably want to consult with your local law enforcement officials to see if it's legal for you to associate if you're felons. If you're on probation or parole, you want to do the same thing. You want to see if it's okay for you to do any of the above that I just mentioned without being violated on your probation or parole. But what I want to talk about tonight, and kept my silence long enough, is why I believe, and I do believe, that the governor of the state of Illinois should free Larry Hoover, pardon him, or commute his sentence. I don't agree with a lot of things that Donald Trump did, but I do like to say this here, that I really believe 100% that he made the right choice when he commuted Larry Hoover's sentence. You will hear a lot of different people like Ron Safer, the federal prosecuting attorney that prosecuted him on the federal cases and sealed 6 life sentences. You will hear him say some things that if you didn't know Larry Hoover, or if you hadn't been around Larry Hoover behind the walls, you would say, man, this man is describing somebody shouldn't be out. But he said something that he almost like contradicted himself. He said he believed in redemption. You will hear him say it. He believed in redemption. But some people, he said, don't deserve to ever get out. So that means you don't believe in redemption. Now, you was hired as a prosecuting attorney to prosecute him. You did what you felt that you had to do. And we know, those of us that's been victims of the system, been victimized by the system, we know that there's thousands of individuals, men and women, behind bars that's innocent. Some even been executed and later to be found not guilty. But I want to say this here. He said he believed in the redemption, but he don't feel Mr. Larry Hoover should ever get out, even after serving 52 or 53 years. 29 or 30 of them in Florence, Colorado, in almost like a dungeon. But now, if you don't believe in redemption, you done prosecuted him, then you done put yourself beyond, above the prosecuting attorney's position or former prosecuting attorney position, and you done put yourself into God's hands. Now, if you don't believe in redemption, that's one thing. That's your personal belief. But you can't put yourself in God's hand. Thank God Donald Trump, didn't think like you did. But then you have some that when they introduce him on the news media, they said, reputed gang leader. They won't say formal, but you will hear his son, Larry Hoover Jr., tell it best. My dad used to be. You'll hear him speak about how his dad had a 6th grade education and went inside the prison and jails and got an education, got a GED, got a college degree, took the EMT course. I can bear witness because I was in several different prisons with him, especially down in the Vienna Correctional Center where the EMT courses was taught. I watched him in maximum and in the minimum in Vienna direct brothers to God, going to church on Sundays, direct brothers that didn't have GEDs to go get a GED or a high school diploma, especially those that was in the inside. When you got your GED, get you a college education. Keep getting that education while you in here. Take you a trade if you want to take a trade. I took the EMT course too in Vienna Correctional Center. The inmates ran the ambulance in the fire department in the Vienna Correctional Center, went out to the streets. I taught EMT and CPR inside of the Vienna Correctional Center as an inmate. I took the course, I mastered it. The people who was teaching the class, they took favor in me and had me to take the CPR and the EMT instructor's test. I even taught prison guards and people from the streets that came inside from different colleges like Shawnee College. But I done seen thousands of them brothers that Mr. Hoover was directing in a different direction than gangs. I seen him send them that way, and they got them certificates, they got them licensed. I took a course to take adult basic education to be able to assist the teacher in teaching adult basic education, which teach the youngsters that didn't have, young and old, that didn't have a GED or a high school diploma, prepare them for it. I did tutoring for free. But I want to be able to show y'all some of the turnouts of some of the grown men that turned their life around because of Mr. Larry Hoover. I'm going to show you inside of the Vienna Correctional Centers the photos of graduations, the photos of individuals that took barber courses and became barbers, some that took the fire science and became firemen, EMTs and became emergency medical technicians. It's an individual that's an alderman in Chicago, Illinois, that was inside of this same prison that I was in, that Mr. Hoover was in. Hey, now, and I'm doing something right now. He came out. He got a pardon from one of the governors in Illinois, and now he's an alderman and even got a higher position now. And I grew up with his family in Cabrini Green in the row houses. I'm older than him. May his mother rest in peace. But we all grew up together. But my point is, another individual that was a state representative was down there. He got out. Operation Push and other people embraced him. I'm saying this here to say, I thank God for all the people that supporting Mr. Larry Hoover. But all of y'all that don't think that he should come out, whether you law enforcement officials or somebody else, I would bet my life that Larry Hoover would make a change for our black communities better than some of the leaders that's out here now that said that they trying to make a change, but all they about is finance. Mr. Hoover wasn't getting paid to have these individuals to get GEDs and college degrees. He can't change a person overnight. Everybody ain't gonna change. You see what I'm saying? Should I blame Mr. Hoover for some of these individuals out here doing when he said he's no longer a part of that? He's about growth and development. Growth and development ain't what some of these individuals out here doing. If they saying that they're a part of that, they're not, because growth and development is not out there killing up their community. Not out there killing up anything. They not pointing people in direction, but they leading the way. That's what Mr. Hoover did. He led the way, and he still lead the way. But I'm going to leave y'all with this here. Pay close attention to what some of the news media says. And I'm telling you what I seen for myself. You see what I'm saying? I seen it for myself. With all that time, this man could have did anything. He could have told them, tear up all these penitentiaries until they let me out, but he didn't. You see what I'm saying? He could have led them on a negative path, but he didn't. In a prime example to see his son, listen to his son, Larry Hoover Jr. If it wasn't no change, Larry Hoover Jr. would have been out there doing like what he said when his father was younger. I'm going to leave y'all with this here. Those of y'all that believe in prayer, whether you're Muslim, Christian, Catholic, let's pray that Governor Princeton let Larry Hoover out. Give him a chance. You see, do we blame all the police when a police do something wrong to one of us? No, we can't blame them all. You see what I'm saying? Can you blame an individual that the system put in there to correct them, and they correct themselves and they refuse to seek corrections? They sent them in there. They say it's the Department of Correction. You didn't see the man being inside of the prisons on the news for killing somebody in the inside, and I done seen plenty of murders in the inside. That was murders in 1978 in Pontiac Correctional Center. They wanted to blame him and other individuals. But God showed that they didn't have the right people. And you see one side of the story be told on everything. They didn't tell you how racist it was down in the Pontiac Correctional Center. All they tell you about is 3 guards, a lieutenant and a couple of guards got killed. But they don't tell you about the racism. They don't tell you about the injustices. But I'm going to just say this here. Pay close attention to the rest of this here. Free Larry Hoover. Peace be still.
Hoover. He's the reputed leader of the Black Gangster Disciples street gang, one of the largest in the nation. For 20 years, he's been locked behind prison walls because of a murder conviction. This week, he goes before the state parole board, and he could soon be a free man. Tonight, he is breaking his silence. Channel 2's John Davis has the story you'll see first on Channel 2 News.
I've done my time. I paid my debt to society.
Larry Hoover, also known as King Larry, the reputed head of the Black Gangster Disciples. He is now 42 years old, older and wiser, he says.
Anytime you do a extensive amount of time, it can have 2 effects. It can harden you, or it can make you think. And I've thought.
And apparently he's done a lot of thinking about stopping the senseless gang-related violence plaguing the streets of Chicago. Violence, he says, over vague ideologies.
One teenager don't like the other teenager because the way he wears his hat, because his ideology is different from his. A disciple don't like a vice lord. We all black people. It's no different.
Hoover admits to being one of the architects of Chicago's fragile gang truce. He also takes credit for authorizing members of his so-called street organization to march on City Hall last May during a protest over plans to close health care clinics in African-American neighborhoods. After spending 20 years in the Illinois prison system, Larry Hoover has just about seen it all. He started out at the maximum security prison at Stateville. 6 years ago, he came here to Vienna, a minimum security prison in the southern part of the state. Some say it is the final step toward freedom. Hoover says he knows he can't change the past, but that he wants the chance to prove that he can be a positive influence on the future. John Davis, Channel 2 News.
Supermax prison in Colorado. His family hasn't been able to speak with him today to get his reaction to his commutation. Hoover still faces the remainder of a state prison sentence for murder, but his family is hoping for clemency from Governor Pritzker.
It's overwhelming. It's a long time coming, and we just want to hope it go all the way through.
The wife and son of Larry Hoover, after his 6 federal life sentences, were commuted by President Trump.
And he deserves redemption. He deserves a second chance at being a part of this community. And he could be a benefit to this community if they want him to be a benefit to this community.
Hoover co-founded the Chicago Gangster Disciples, and while behind bars for a 1973 murder, federal prosecutors say he continued to run the gang's prolific multi-state drug operations.
If Larry Hoover said there was going to be a killing, there was a killing.
Ron Safer was the lead federal prosecutor who secured Hoover's 1997 conviction for running a criminal enterprise behind bars.
I believe in redemption, but there are some crimes that are so horrific that they deserve the punishment to the full extent of the law.
As years passed, Hoover's case drew increasing attention, including from artists like Kanye West and Chance the Rapper.
And I gotta remind y'all that he was a political prisoner.
He is being held because he is a symbol, not because he needs further incarceration or he hasn't been rehabilitated.
The president's commutation only applies to Hoover's federal sentence. He still faces state prison time for which he's eligible for parole. Governor J.B. Pritzker can also offer clemency.
We know that Governor Pritzker believes in rehabilitation, redemption, and transformation, and he's done all of that.
A governor spokesperson declined to comment on Hoover's case, but said inmates seeking parole or clemency must petition the Illinois Prisoner Review Board, which makes parole decisions and issues recommendations to the governor regarding clemency.
6th grade education, and he ended up with a college diploma. He ended up with an EMT license. Like, that's growth and development. He grew and developed into a better person. My father went to jail being influenced by the pimps and the hustlers and the players.
It's my type of work, y'all. Saving lives.
Larry Hoover, the gangster that everybody, that's what everybody looks for. A lot of people. I can't say everybody because I know it's people that knows who he is and what he's really about. I don't look at my father as chief, you know, the Larry Hoover, the gangster. I look at him as my father. So it's real to me. To everybody else, he's a mythical figure. To me, this is actually my father. And my father is the leader of growth and development. Growth and development has been bastardized because people want to make growth and development just be another name for Gangster Disciple. Gangster Disciple is what growth and development stem from, but it's not what growth and development is. My father is growth and development. My father was a illiterate individual that taught himself how to read. He went to jail and couldn't read. He had a 6th grade education and he ended up with a college diploma. He ended up with an EMT license. Like, that's growth and development. He grew and developed into a better person. My father went to jail being influenced by the pimps and the hustlers and the players. But he ended up understanding about politics. He was the man that seen what Mayor Daley did, being a leader of the Hamburgs, and seeing how he took his people and got into politics and made a change for the Irish people in this community. He was trying to follow that blueprint. That blueprint made him a threat. But I see my father as the man that was guiding me to not be where he is at. He was guiding me to be a strong, stand-up individual for my family and not for the streets.
Now that's Mother Quasquella York. The one I told you, if she was alive today, may she rest in peace. She used to go to every prison in the state of Illinois. She used to go to the Cook County Jail and witness to a lot of us. And if she was alive today, she would be asking, she would have went up there and asked Donald Trump to pardon Larry Hoover. And if she was alive today, she sure would have went to Springfield, Illinois, to Governor Princeton's office with Larry Hoover's family and asked him to free him. That picture was taken in the Vienna Correctional Center. Let me show you the education. These brothers I met, and they followed the guidance of a man that changed, growth, and development. That's me inside of the Vienna Correctional Center, teaching the EMT course. That's another brother that followed the guidance. You see them patches on his side, them EMT patches, that's inside the Vienna Correctional Center. You see this? A paramedic to the left, may she rest in peace, Dottie Miles, and a paramedic to the right, giving me my certificate and my license to be able to teach EMT and CPR. That's in the Vienna Correctional Center. These brothers was guided by Mr. Hoover to get an education. These brothers here is brothers with degrees. That's inside the Vienna Correctional Center. The one with the all white on, may he rest in peace, my brother man from Cabrini Green, Juju, a licensed barber. Down, laying, sitting on the ground, Skip, a licensed EMT. Where we had him at. There he is again, right there. And the rest of them got associate's degrees or bachelor's degrees. That's your unity down there in the Vienna Correctional Center. It was about education. It was about growth. It was about development. I wasn't a part of the organization, but I seen what they wanted to do, and I was willing to take my time to educate those that was willing. You see, I went on the streets and did it too. And there's thousands of brothers that followed behind Mr. Larry Hoover. Not only did they get their education inside, not only did they find God, but they also went out in the streets with it. You see, some of these people is misrepresenting. Just like the police would say, well, all of us didn't kill Quan McDonald. All of us didn't shoot him 16 times. And they right. You see what I'm saying? And if the prosecuting attorney said if Larry Hoover say killed, he'll kill. But what about if Larry Hoover say stop killing? It goes two ways. Stop killing. Get an education. Find God. This just go to show you what his son was saying is true. That's growth and development, y'all. That's growth and development. That ain't drive-by shootings. I came up in the Cabrini Green. Some people got into certain gangs, and not because they wanted to, like Larry Hoover Jr. said, is to protect their neighborhood. To protect their neighborhood. Let me show you something else. You see, when I got my college education, and when I was behind the walls, I was willing to help any brother, any organization that's trying to change, to help them educate those that's finna go out in the streets. You see, I didn't just become the state of Illinois emergency medical technician. I took the state in the national tests because I wanted to go any place I can go. Coming out of Cabrini Green, the infamous projects. Now I've been down here about 29 years in a little town called Charleston, Missouri, fighting against racism, fighting against individuals that's out here claiming to be one thing and it being another. But let me show you something else. You see, this is a literacy initiative volunteer certificate of humanitarian achievements. Something that I didn't want to get recognized for, something that I didn't get paid to do, but it's a volunteer thing. And it'll tell you how long I volunteered. From July the 1st, 1991 to June the 30th, 1992. And I went farther than that. Tutoring brothers. I was required to take this particular course to be able to be a teacher's aide inside behind the walls, teaching brothers adult basic education to help them get a GED or a high school diploma. This is me, a certificate being recognized for my excellence in the emergency medical technician service from Southern Illinois College. But this is to show you this that I have. Thousands of brothers have this and more. Not because they chose to do it on their own, but they was guided by an individual leading by example, leading the way, not pointing in the direction. Free Larry Hoover. Peace, peace, still. After you've seen all of that, Let's support that family. There's one lady, if she was alive today, Mother York, Casquella York, she would have been at the governor's office or the governor's mansion in Springfield, Illinois, with Mr. Hoover's family asking the governor to let her son go. Peace out.